Many fans cannot wait until they can finally watch the upcoming Venom There Be Carnage in theaters. We feel the same, obviously, and in order to make the waiting time a bit easier for you, we prepared an original episode for you this week. Learn everything you need to know about the new Sony blockbuster as well as the latest news in regards to cast, story, and production. Let's start with the storyline first. After the first film was released in 2018, fans were thrilled to bits, and not just due to the gripping and chaotic story around Eddie Brock aka Venom. In particular, one mid-credit scene of the film with Tom Hardy is significant for part 2. Anyone who has seen Venom will know exactly what we mean. We're talking about the scene in which protagonist Eddie Brock encounters serial killer Cletus Kasady aka Carnage in a maximum security prison. Kasady, like Brock, is also the host of a symbiote whose nature is at least as terrifying as Venom's. In the mid-credit scene, Kasady, who is played by Harrelson, announces that he is going to break out of prison using the memorable words, "Let there be carnage." At the latest from this scene, it was clear that a second part was to come. Not much is known about the plot, but at least you can get a rough idea from Venom Let There Be Carnage based on some leaked information. The first part ends spectacularly with the explosion of the spaceship and the death of Eddie Brock's nemesis Dr. Carlton Drake, aka Wright. As Deadline also reported, comic book villain Shriek will be assisting antagonist Carnage. Shriek, whose real name is Frances Barrison, is a drug dealer in the comics who obtains her mutant powers due to a severe trauma. Her arsenal of superpowers includes flying, evoking traumatic emotions in her opponent, and the control of sound waves. The latter should be especially tough on Venom, as he is known to be very sensitive to frequency interference. Another juicy detail from the comics is that she is both Carnage's accomplice and his lover, so her appearance is considered to be very likely despite the lack of confirmation from Sony's part. Quite surprisingly, a first, almost 2-minute trailer came out which gives a first glimpse of the movie. Eddie Brock seems to have come to terms with his dark side by now and experiences some pretty funny, albeit very absurd moments in everyday life. But not everything is as nice as it seems at first glance, as of course the titular antagonist Carnage also makes an appearance in the first trailer. In one brutal scene, for instance, we can witness Cletus Kasady transforming into the terrifying Carnage at the moment of his execution. Naomie Harris, who will be playing the aforementioned Shriek in the upcoming film, is also featured. All in all, an exciting first trailer that leaves you wanting to see more. So now let's move on to the cast in front of and behind the camera. The cast confirmed so far is, of course, Tom Hardy as Venom, Naomie Harris as Shriek, and Harrelson as Carnage. Other confirmed cast members include Michelle Williams as Anne Wing and Reed Scott as Dr. Dan Lewis. Behind the scenes, Andy Serkis is responsible for directing the blockbuster. In 2019, the Brit took over the role from Ruben Fleischer as he was too busy producing Zombieland, Double Tap, and lacked time for Venom 2. The screenplay was originally written by Kelly Marcel, but lead actor Tom Hardy was also very much involved in the writing process. Now let's take a look at the third aspect, the rumor mill surrounding Venom 2. The rumor that Spider-Man will appear more or less directly in the upcoming Sony film has been persistent for some time. Conveniently, director Andy Serkis has analyzed the new trailer in a video from IGN and revealed some bits of information. The 57-year-old acknowledges a certain connection between Spider-Man and Venom, but at the same time stresses that it was decided to isolate the Venom universe from the superhero. Therefore, Venom and Carnage do not know about Peter Parker's existence. Still, that doesn't mean that clever fans won't find a few Easter eggs in this regard. Venom Let There Be Carnage does contain some allusions. For example, Peter Parker's employer, the Daily Bugle, will also appear in the new Venom movie. Since Sony's new multiverse doesn't really start until Venom 2, we can most likely expect to see Spider-Man in the upcoming blockbuster surrounding Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, the Sinister Six, or Madame Web. Another connection to the MCU can also be found in the new trailer. In one scene, you can see an unfamiliar man browsing through the Daily Bugle. If you slow down the video and pause at the right moment, you can see a headline about the Avengers on the right-hand side as seen from his perspective. Sadly, the text is only partially visible and really cleverly hidden, but this is certainly not just a coincidence. The trailer also reveals an interesting film location in a beautiful panoramic view. The Ravencroft Institute. To put it crudely, it's the Arkham Asylum of the Marvel Universe, and just like the DC model, not all inmates leave the Institute as reformed criminals. Specifically in Venom 2, Ravencroft will primarily act as the focus of various scientific experiments, most of which will certainly revolve around symbiotes and their hosts. There are also some indications that Venom will set the Institute on fire during the course of the film. You can tell it's going to be exciting. Another Easter egg revolves around none other than Spider-Man. Well, at least a spider and a man. In the scene, you can see an unknown figure killing a spider with his hand. You don't have to be a pro to recognize that this is pretty much Carnage himself, as can be seen by his blue jumpsuit after all. Obviously, it's clear to everyone which imagery this clip wants to convey, and we sincerely hope that this is a small teaser of a big clash between Kasady and Peter Parker, even though it's not going to happen in this movie. Needless to say, there are many more Easter eggs and clues to be discovered, so we'd be interested to hear which ones you've spotted. Post them down in the comments if you like. Last but not least, we want to introduce you to the title antagonist, Carnage. Casually speaking, Carnage is the truly evil one among Spider-Man's enemies. For while most of the adversaries have experienced tragic events in their way to becoming villains and still possess some spark of humanity, it is simply in Carnage's nature to kill and destroy. Before Cletus Kasady was infected with the symbiote Carnage, he was already a criminal sadist. This is certainly one of the reasons why Carnage is one of the most difficult adversaries, simply because once he gets into fury, he's nearly unstoppable. If you will, Carnage is the nastier and stronger version of Venom, as can be seen quite well in the similarly designed costume of the two. The scope of his superpowers is also impressive, as they include not only supernatural strength, agility, and speed, but also the ability to block the popular superhero spider sense. Moreover, Carnage's symbiote grew on Earth rather than on the planet Kleiner, which does make him more unstable and unpredictable, but also considerably stronger than the main character Venom. His greatest vulnerability is fire, but in exchange he's not as susceptible to sonic weapons as his counterpart. All in all, a very powerful villain who will give protagonist Eddie Brock some real trouble. That's it for our latest original episode. Are you as excited about Venom Let There Be Carnage as we are? And what are your expectations of the new Sony blockbuster? Let's chat in the comments. If you also enjoyed the video, like and subscribe so we can give you more insights into your favorite movies in the future. See you next time.